Welcome back, everybody, to Wealth Psychology Part 2. This is James Murphy with Evolution for Success. Last week, let's do a quick review. Last week we're talking about the psychology of money, and last week we talked about the 3 tenets of money, right? And the 3 tenets of money were number 1, right? That money is just a packaged emotional experience that we're all sharing and passing on, and there's ebb and flow on that. And then the second one, of course, is that you'll only have as much money as you can responsibly manage it, right? And that's true. It means that you only have as much money as you can responsibly handle your buying and your spending habits, right? Where's the money coming in and where's the money going out, right? And then last but not least is everybody has a wealth or a financial blueprint, which is A minus B equals C, right? There's assets minus bills equals one of two things: cash or credit card debt, right? Consumer debt. And it's hard to keep a wealth psychology because a lot of times everybody wants to just make more, and it requires so much energy to make more, and we put that out there, and then we have all these justifications for why we spend more as well then, right? Oh, I just got that raise, so let's go out to dinner one extra night a week, or oh, I just got that raise, I've been working so hard, let me get that new phone, right? Because now I'm eligible for my upgrade. Or, oh, I just need that new computer or something you haven't quite saved for, so you throw some of it on the credit card, whatever that is. So you need to be careful, because the way to real wealth is not just making more money. It's about maximizing your experience of both. It's about making more money and lowering your expenses at the same time to the lowest acceptable standard of living that you hold to be true for yourself. And think about that today. Everybody says, oh, I own my home. I own my home. Nobody owns their home unless they have no mortgage. The bank owns it. Now, they make you feel good because you can write off some interest, maybe interest income, or do some of these other things, right? But in the end, you still spent the money and it's not yours. And just try it, because if you don't make payments for 6 months, guess who's kicking you out of your house? That's right, the bank, because the bank owns it. Right? So there's all these little traps, and how often do we keep upgrading, right? You get your condo, then you get your first home, and then you have kids, so you upgrade your home, then you need a bigger home, and then you're old, and now you're an empty nester, and so then you start to downsize your home, and you downsize, and who's owned your home for the last 60 years? A bank, right? And so how many people are really secure with like no mortgage once they retire? Right? So you want to be careful with your money psychology and how you spend the money. But what we're going to focus on today specifically, because remember, your expenses always grow in proportion to your income, right? So how do you keep that wealth psychology when you're making more but you're spending less? Right? That's kind of rough to do, but that's where we have the biggest gap. So I want to talk to you about, just to have a moment, like, pardon the term, but a come to Jesus moment, right? Around your money. How many of you out there, raise your hand real quick, how many of you have a budget? When was the last time you looked at your budget? When was the last time you analyzed your budget? Heck, when was the last time you just went through your credit card statement, right? Can you even remember what you spent your money on 2 or 3 days ago? If you went to the grocery store or Starbucks or whatever today, was swiping your credit card or whatever, can you even tell me the amount of what you spent? How much was your drink this morning, or your coffee? Was it $4.78? Was it $3.82? Most of us just swipe and we don't even pay attention anymore. So, but what is your wealth blueprint? Because see, there's only 3, right? I spend 11, or I make 10, I spend 11, which means I have minus $1, right? That's it. Or you have an even blueprint. I make 10, I spend 10. That's a zero-sum game blueprint. Or, you know what, I make 10 and I spend 9, and now you have a plus 10%, right? Or plus $1 on the flip side. I encourage you to take a look at what is your financial blueprint, because this financial blueprint here is emotionally based. I'm going to say that one more time because it's so important. Whatever your blueprint is here, it has to do with your emotions right here, and how you're using money to meet your emotional needs. If you don't like it, that's a prime space for some coaching, right? But that's it. So pay attention to what your blueprint is. And when I tell you that the easiest way to get a raise, right, is actually just to focus on reducing this debt by $1, because guess what? Then you have +2 with no additional income. You didn't have to put anything out there, right, to give yourself a raise except to spend a little less. Now it's kind of starting to hit home, isn't it? What if I said, hey, spend 2 times, right, or $2 less out of your 10. But guess what? Now you have $3 more. But this is the thing, right? You're like saying, James, I just need to make more money. But look at this. If you make 100, right, and you have this, let's just say you have this 10 and 9, right? If you grow it to 100, right, your expenses are going to go to 90 now, and you're going to think, oh, I have more money because now it's $10 left over instead of just the $1 I had over here. But it's still only 10%, right? And guess what you did? You put all this energy out here, you created these new spending habits, and what if this goes down because of COVID or something to an 80? Now you're really in trouble because you don't want to go backwards, right? You don't want to go backwards, you don't want to cut your spending, you don't want to not have your night out, you don't want to not start cooking on Fridays again, or Friday nights, whatever. So you have to be really careful with your psychology around money. And be able to adapt accordingly, because your spending habits grow in proportion to your income, and when those expenses go up, we don't want to bring them down, because oh my gosh, that could trigger scarcity in your wealth psychology. So pay attention. Take a look at what your wealth blueprint is, your money blueprint. If you don't like your money blueprint, work to change it, but work to change the expenses first, and then we'll work on maximizing your income. Because if you can cut your expenses and keep that I am wealthy mentality, now we're talking The Wealthy Barber Next Door, which is a great book. If you haven't read it, you should. Or The Richest Man in Babylon. Great one also. So take care, keep running your race. If you have any money concerns, always love to hear them below. Let me know your thoughts on this psychology. Keep running your race, cross the finish line, and we'll talk to you soon.